Hello everyone, Dr. 70 Videos here, and welcome to my CPI wrap-up video. I don't really know what I'm going to call this yet, to be honest. There's a few names I could call it. But this is going to be similar to my Goodbye CP, Goodbye Waddle Go video. I'm not making it that long of a name again, I don't think anyway. But yeah, we're here again already, are we? Okay, well, let's talk about why we're here again already. Not in really big depth, because I'm not really good at details, and I'm not the best person to ask. But let's go back to like August, September time. I didn't exactly know when it was, but Disney was like, "Hey, CPI team, don't worry. You can continue working whatever you're doing. You're fine. You're safe. You're all good. We're not gonna, cancel the game or anything. That would be ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous." Oh no! Wait. A few weeks later, actually, no. Take it back on what we said. You have a few months to finish the game, wrap the game up, and start leaving because we don't care about you anymore. We care more about our carbon copy clone Disney games with Disney written all over it, so it's cooler. That's basically what happened. So these, they're really dedicated people. We've been working on this game for ages. I mean, not just this game. I mean, classic as well. We get the point of the franchise. We're suddenly told, hey, you have a few months to finish. Yeah, we don't care really at all. I've heard that it's really hard to find jobs in Corona, basically where CPI is based, if you didn't know. And also, not only did they have to know, we had to know. So in the last week of September, there was a post put out. They didn't know if it was specified, if it was Joe or Sam or whoever, but it was literally saying, unfortunately, after 13 years, because the franchise is 13 years old, we have to shut down, but basically. And it was like a wave of shock, because people started finding out it passed on. More people saw from the original person who found it. I mean, I was one of the first people who saw it. And that's not by bragging terms. That's literally just saying it how it is. And it was like, wait, what? Like we had to process it for a bit, and then it was sudden panic because we realised we only had a few months left. Like, I know it happened on Classic, but Classic we still had another game after it. This is the end. This is not just the end of CPI. This is the end of the franchise. Like, yeah, there's so much to say. Like, this game hasn't even been up for that long. I've only been playing it for just over a year. In case this doesn't go up at a good time, and I happen to say this recording later, or after we record the game, which I hope I don't have to do. It's the 18th of December, by the way. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It just that happened, and now we're stuck back in this position again where we're like, oh, okay. A little bit, fortunately, there is a little bit of hope. There's this thing called offline mode. The only downside is we're one penguin on our own, on your account, on this bare island, massive island. So, and you can't do a few things like play party games and stuff like that. I mean, so I was like, oh great, everything I planned for next year is cancelled. Not everything. Things I planned for next year are cancelled. Offline mode, oh okay, well, never mind. But still, it's still sad and lame that just like that it's gone. And not only that, is this year the game had grown a lot more, but it's still loads more left, because every story in that credit sequence, if you hadn't seen it like in game, I did a video on it. There was so much more left to do. Roller Coaster Adventures Chapter 2, which I was very much looking forward to. Sensei, he never showed up, unfortunately. My phone just went off, lost of concentration. Puffles, obviously. Actually, I'm surprised. We wasn't expecting him to have started on it, well, with quite a few of us. But they actually had concepts of an idea of a puffle hatching out of an egg and evolving into a puffle creature, I believe. Which, as a fan of the Prehistoric Past 2014 on Classic, that's great. I love that idea. Anyway, so, I don't know if I spent too long talking about what was coming, because that's just too depressed right now. But, it has potential. But, let's take a step back. Unlike the last time, I'm not going to talk about my experience with Love Plus too much. Well, leading up to it, so I don't need to do a whole massive story about how I found the game, because I already had fun with the game. I'm just going to play till December. But I won't go into that game because I've said that a billion times, and I'm sick of telling that story. Anyway, I think CPI was a very good lead on from Classic. It upgraded in a lot of ways. So we're going to talk about that. So the first thing, it's going to be in random order. The first thing that I think was really good was the adventures. Let's go for the adventures first. Um, so the adventures was similar to that, but that's a little bit of comparison here. So it was similar to that of the EPF missions, I guess, in Classic, which, were a bit early on in Classic's life, not really much towards the end. Um, and the adventures were really cool because it not just focused on the EPF, and that was only to Antarctic's Chapter 2. It focused on the different characters and their different, problems or scenarios or, personalities, I guess, and different, because obviously each adventure was mainly in their base zone, but you explore different ones. Like with Rock Hoppers, he was based in Beacon Boardwalk, but you often go to, say, the Cove because it's piratey, I guess. But yeah, adventures were so well thought out. I love the fact that there was some great voice actors too, like Penguin was voice acting. I mean, it didn't obviously towards later life because they couldn't get the voice actors in, but things happen. But yeah, it was just really, really fun and cool and different, and really made use of the island. Another thing that I really enjoyed was the designer. I could talk about the designer all day. I flipping loved the designer. I mean, on Classic, I didn't really find, making outfits like fun because it was just like plop, plop, plop. Put this item on your penguin like that. But on CPI, you'd have a blueprint, you'd put the fabrics on, and then you could add some decals on to make it cool. Now, that concept was in the first thing we saw of CPI. Actual gameplay-wise, it was the first thing. And that was, it's just a simple idea, but really effective and really allows creativity. I know for their main demographic of 5 to 14, I think that's it. That's really great because it does appeal to all ages, really. And of course, once the school pack released for decals, that started the white outfits with black stripes craze, especially on shoes. But I had a whole series called Recreate based on the designer. So it's just really fun. So speaking of designer-ish, to a point, next thing I want to mention is the daily challenges. Now, the daily challenges were another great, cool idea that, obviously daily, and I love it when you can do stuff daily. I like that kind of routine, On Classic and Party, you have daily things to do. They weren't really much. Like, just pick up this item, do the small little activity. But the hundreds, there's a few little activities. Some required you to work with other people, or penguins if you want to be more specific, in the actual game terms. And yeah, but my favourite daily challenge was Dot's daily challenges. That's what I said about the designer, remember? So you'd have a theme, and you'll work with that theme based on the blueprints and fabrics and decals you have. They were a bit easygoing on the fabrics and decals because, as I said before, a lot of people just went for the white clothing with black stripes thing, didn't actually match the theme, but whatever. and you would there'll be a top designer, and you would help your friends buy things, and it was all quite fun, really. I mean, there was a bit of drama going on with the whole you shouldn't be advertising, a bit controversial with that, but that's not we're not here to talk about controversy, okay? We're here to talk about the game. Anyway, so I always found that really fun. Always coming, because I try to set myself my challenge of each theme should have a different blueprint. I didn't want to do the same thing all the time. Always do t-shirts or dungarees, which is my obsession with blueprints. Love the dungarees. I want to wear them in real life, but I like the dungarees on my penguin. They work well. But that was also great. Next thing I really want to talk about, party supplies. Now that was a great upgrade from Classic, because on Classic you'd have you or your friends would host a party. You would talk a bit, play a few multiplayer games. That's it, really. You could make a few games like run across the island, hooray. But the thing about CPI is they introduced this magical thing called party supplies. I probably said it way too quietly. Party supplies. My favourites being the fireworks and the party blasters, because you get coins and they're wow, fun. You can eat. That's something you can never do in CPI, was actually eat, because in Classic you had to say, eat food. I'm a robot. Whereas this, you can actually eat. So that's great. And the animations in CPI I loved. and you had the party like games. You just whip out a game in your pocket. There was 3 games. My favorite being Ink or Swim. Can't go wrong with Ink or Swim. And yeah, it just made parties 10 times more fun. And the actual parties themselves, as in the actual parties the team made, were also great. I know in 2017 they were quite small and people didn't really like them, I guess. So yeah, but in 2018, which is my main experience, yeah, they were great. For one, they brought back Sean the Flipping Dragon, which was great for me because I first got School and Dragon when I was 12, so that was a fun time, nostalgic time. The Summer Splashdown I also love. I got really good classic vibes off of that. The Sewer Restaurant, that was a fan favourite, which is why they kept it in. There was just so many like great like parties. The Rainbow Celebration was small as well, but the aesthetic was nice. It was cool to see the island light on sunsetty, and the rainbow geysers were fun to like jump on every 5 minutes. Like I remember saying, "Oh, it's nearly 5 minutes." God, you know, it's sort of like charming, I guess. Like the thing is, Classic was way different, which is why people didn't like CPI because it was too different. We can't have change. We're still too nostalgia blind. But like the thing is, like Classic, like Island did like evolve so much in Classic, and like there's much more to like have fun with. Like even the Island games, whilst they wasn't, because obviously I mean they have now introduced some of the ones from Classic with the arcade machine, but they were a lot more based in the environment. Because obviously on Classic, as I said in one of my videos before, you just went into a different screen because it's still 2D based. You just went onto a screen as a separate bit, you know. Whereas on Island, it's actually part of the island. Like you go to Mount Blizzard, you tube down the ramps that it has. You know, I just love the more open worldness because obviously Classic was just flat and it was just a penguin based on a flat environment. But you know, you could only go a few different ways, and it wasn't much exploration. It was just like a picture. And that's the great thing about Island. It was just, you know, I'm just glad they made it because obviously it would have been a bit weird, you know. The Club Penguin app, let's just say it was a bit buggy, but they really said we can make good app games with Island. I'm losing my concentration now. I haven't got long left to talk. Yeah, so you know, I didn't get why the game was so. You know, it shouldn't have got that much hate because at the end of the day, the hate even came from nostalgia blind. People not actually playing it for long enough and saying, actually, this is crap, just based on first impressions. I would say you'd have to play the game for at least 15 minutes to actually truly appreciate it. And also certain people who drove people's opinions. Like, there are some people who I know would have actually played for Island and actually enjoyed it, but they did give it a chance. And that chance is important because it needed that chance. And I know a lot of people did enjoy it. And I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people who were new to the Club Penguin franchise that joined. And there were also people who were new to the Club Penguin franchise, mainly the little kids who asked where the hell Puffles were. That was always a thing I saw a lot. How'd you get Puffles? Yeah, sorry, mate, you can't get Puffles. And they never came, sadly. I really wish that had happened because it would have been so great. Like, we only had a few months' time left. Like, of course, with Classic, they knew it had to come to an end soon, and that was more like, hey, we know it has to come to more of a decision. Whereas this time, it was easily forcing them. I mean, technically, it was forced a Classic, but that was like technical things, and they knew it themselves. But they had prepared for another few years. Like, at least give the game another few years. Like, give it more of a chance instead of keeping these, carbon copy games. Like, seriously. We don't need to have a Candy Crush at Disney. So, yeah. So, I think that's all I really want to say, really. If I have got anything major, I will put it as the pinned comment. But, yeah, like, it's so much potential and so much, worth to it. Like, I was really looking forward to some more adventures and, Puffles and Sensei, and I was really looking forward to see whether they'll have card Jitsu or a new version. And, and useful turning characters in general, like Skip. I'm pretty sure Skip would have been planned by that bit of dialogue that Shelbit said. Come on. But yeah, and the flipping credits. They actually put so much effort into the Waddle Party. Like, I was like, they probably won't put too much in it. They don't have a lot of time. I'd understand. But nope. They gave us a pretty good ending. And I think Island's ending's better than Classics. It actually wrapped everything up a bit more. Whereas, I mean, Probably because I set my expectations too high for classic, because I wanted it to be back to the normal island. I wanted, all this stuff. If you see the video, I'm pretty sure that video is still up. But yeah, just didn't really work that well. But yeah, I'm happy with how it ended. But I wish it didn't end as soon as it did, because it didn't need to. But anyway, enough of me blabbering on. I will end this here before I absolutely lose my voice, even though I want to record the rest of the day. But shush. So yeah, so there will be more recreate coming and some other stuff coming. I do want to recreate I'm a Mod. That video, I want to make it more official, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I will go now. I'm going to do my outro because I want to just say thanks for watching and waddle on.